Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit. So today's session is on the best exercises for residents in dementia facilities. So in dementia facilities, certainly in New Zealand, there's exercise classes twice a day. Though excellent, they're limited in the sense that they're inside and they're often of a low caliber fitness level for people in their late 80s and 90s to be able to manage them. So they're all chair exercises, though good for stiff shoulders and getting mobility there, especially if you've had frozen shoulders or you've got arthritis, then the shoulder exercises are good for that. Neck exercises, again, if your neck is stiff and you've got arthritic changes. Certainly the quadriceps exercises for the upper thigh, we've talked about this a lot before, are essential so that residents keep the strength going in their upper legs for being able to transfer on and off the bed, on and off the chair, on and off the toilet, to remain independent enough to be able to stay in the facility. And you do need to be independent in those things to be able to stay in the lower level D3 dementia facility here in New Zealand. So those exercises, most people or residents who have been into fitness and exercise in their lifetime, whatever the exercise, enjoy those fitness routines, you might say. But a lot of people aren't really interested and so they don't partake, and that's fine. But one aspect I want to mention here again today, I have mentioned it before though, is the absolute importance of walking as an activity, especially for those residents who come into the facility who are younger, maybe late 70s, early 80s, men, women, can be really quite strong and fit at that age, and many are, who come into a dementia facility. They're fit elderly people. They're not sick, they just have a dementia problem. And they love walking, they love hiking. One man actually who came into the unit when I was there, he was a mountain hiker. He climbed mountains literally, as many people do actually in New Zealand, with the Southern Alps right throughout the South Island. And he was really fit and strong, you could see when he entered, but his sister, who was his power of attorney, was less able than him. She was on a walking stick, so she couldn't take him out walking. And his climbing friend said that he found it too difficult coming in to see his friend like that. So what happened was that this man, this lovely man, was left at this unit, no support, no walking, no activity. He was absolutely bereft. He was completely abandoned, actually. It was really tragic. And he had no means of being able to get outside because his relatives, his sister wasn't thinking. What could she do to enable him to get outside, at least to walk? He'd actually been very good to her children. So why didn't she get the nephews and nieces to take him out for a walk, or some of the grandchildren in the family? I mean, there's always someone that can be free, surely, to help someone, who's incarcerated in a dementia facility to go for a walk, especially if you're part of a close family unit and you've contributed so much to the family as this man had done. But sadly, sometimes, this return doesn't happen, and it really needs to be outlined, that it is a human right to be able to get outside into the fresh air and sunshine and to be able to exercise at least once a day, as inmates do in prisons. I mean, I know it's just concrete and barbed wire, but they get the sunshine and fresh air at least. In psychiatric institutions, certainly here in New Zealand, they're beautiful large grounds for the people to walk in. They've closed down now, but at the time when they were I shouldn't say popular, but a lot of people were incarcerated in them. At least they had the big grounds to walk around in. So, yeah, I know that a lot of these facilities, or some of them, the upstairs ones, have a veranda. They call it a veranda, but it's so tiny. It's really just like a deck, And residents don't consider that really that is getting outside. So in terms of the best exercise, really it is still walking, especially for those that are fit and able and want to walk and wish to walk. I mean, the problem, of course, is that, these people are often the ones who get angry because they can't get out, banging at the door, saying they want to go home, they want to get out. And it can be difficult when this escalates because, of course, if they're angry and you take them out and they're aggressive, it can also be hard to get them back into the unit. So that's why this whole series of programs that we've been running here on de-escalating anger, on explaining to the person why they're in the unit, keeping up that relationship and goodwill, explaining about their memory problem and the memory problems they've had, chances are they'll recognise some of it's been happening to them. So if you keep communicating with them and keep them in the loop, so that they're informed and updated, rather than just sort of put away without an explanation, it's just, unbearable actually. What happens with the people that aren't supported, where it's not explained to them, where they're not taken out for a walk? These people just, they deteriorate actually, and then they just die, literally actually. I don't know what happens. Their system shuts down. They don't last very long. Either they pass on, or, they're medicated up and they go on to a higher level facility. But you can't actually last for years if you're so distressed and upset and angry. It just seems to burn up the system somehow. I haven't seen anyone at a dementia facility last long when they're really highly, highly distressed. Something has to give at some point. Either go on to another facility, get medicated, or sometimes they get a fall, fracture their hip, get a chest infection, something. I mean, it's only, the people that are settled in the dementia unit, who are supported, who, have resources to be able to think and read, who can communicate and make friends, that stable group will be able to have a quality of life in a dementia unit. But those that aren't supported and aren't able to get out, when they wish to, it's very sad indeed. And I think our society needs to think of ways to be able to help these people, like volunteer dementia walking groups. If the family can't come to the party, we don't want a lot of bureaucracy around this, but maybe just a small first aid qualification. I mean, the main thing actually is that the person doesn't get lost. When you're taking these people for walks, they've got little direction orientation and they can get lost. So you have to be very, very wary that, you've got your eyes on them at all times, and going up and down curbs, just, being close by as you would with any elderly person. It's not that difficult. I'm sure our society must find a way to be able to get around this, really serious problem, especially with dementia increasing day by day. In fact, often in the unit, it's not so much the dementia that distresses the people in the unit, but not being able to get out for a walk is far more distressing. So it needs to be considered from the perspective of the person themselves, rather than people outside looking in. So that's the end of exercise. Again, another session on exercise for residents in dementia facilities. I'll leave the links below to the books. Thank you for your support and likes. I really, really appreciate it. And, all best wishes and congratulations and to those people that are working so hard out there. Best wishes and support to the people that are working hard out there to help and support and care for people with dementia. Thank you.